The NASCAR Cup Series race is officially concluded from the Charlotte ROVAL, and Kyle Larson puts up a dominant clinic and gets the 6th win of 2024. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. I just got done watching NASCAR Cup Series race on the Charlotte ROVAL, the Bank of America World 400. We had quite a bit to talk about from this race. Let's go and talk about it. So at the start of the race, he had Shane Van Gisbergen lead the field from the outside with Tyler Reddick on the inside, and Shane Van Gisbergen got a fantastic start and was able to clear for the race lead. Meanwhile, on lap number 2, Kyle Larson sent it down into turn number 7 with the new configuration, sent it down and was able to move up to second position, moved Joey Logano way up the track. As he dropped to 5th, Kyle Larson moved up to second position. Shane Van Gisbergen would, of course, continue to dominate. Corey LaJoie early in the race, unfortunately, he had a flat tire and basically had an engine failure. He would end up going to the garage. Multiple drivers had penalties throughout the race. Then he had Ryan Preece who was struggling early, and then the first big penalty that kind of happened was when Bubba Wallace shortcut the front chicane from 8th position. Now, William Byron behind him did not get a penalty despite the fact that he kind of cut the chicane. He didn't get a penalty. I think there was an explanation from NASCAR. I really don't understand it, but he got a penalty because of that. And then next lap, Mark Truex Jr., he shortcut the chicane and he would get a penalty and drop to about 30th position. And then we started seeing green flag pit stops. Austin Dillon came down pit road first. Then the next lap, AJ Allmendinger came in. Then the next lap, Kyle Busch, Ross Chastain, Chris Buescher came down pit road. And then on lap 20, Austin Cindric, Brad Keselowski, William Byron, Christopher Bell, Bubba Wallace, Denny Hamlin, Chase Briscoe, Mark Truex Jr., they all came down pit road. And then on the next lap, Kyle Larson, Todd Gillen, Carson Osbar, Alex Bowman, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Daniel Hemrick, they all came down pit road. And then the next lap, Shane Van Gisbergen and Daniel Suarez would come down pit road. This would mean drivers like Tyler Reddick, Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, and Ryan Blaney, who were in the playoffs, they would stay out. Tyler Reddick had a massive lead in front of the field. No one was really competition to him. And coming off the corner, Tyler Reddick would dominate and win stage number 1, getting a ton of points. During the caution, Tyler Reddick, Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Ty Gibbs, Todd Gillen, Josh Berry all came down pit road while everyone else stayed out. So then on the restart, Kyle Larson lead the field from the outside with Shane Van Gisbergen on the inside, and Kyle Larson got a fantastic restart and was able to clear for the race lead. On the next lap, carnage would strike. Austin Dillon got spun from 12th position after some contact with Alex Bowman, and then Tyler Reddick completely just sent it going into turn number 7 and would get into Denny Hamlin, getting a ton of damage on both of their cars, breaking the toe link, and they would have to come down pit road. Reddick just completely sent it down there. That wouldn't be the last time in this race. It almost cost Tyler Reddick a shot in making the next round. Major complications there, major issues for Denny Hamlin as well. They both would have toe link issues, and like I said, Tyler Reddick would come down pit road because of a bent toe link. And then on lap 35, the next caution race would come out when Chase Briscoe would lose a right rear from 19th position. Had a flat tire and the tire carcass got on the racetrack. That would bring out the caution. So then during the caution, AJ Allmendinger, Austin Cindric, Ross Chastain, Bubba Wallace, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Kyle Busch, Ty Gibbs, Mark Truex Jr., they all came down pit road along with Denny Hamlin and Tyler Reddick who had damage while the rest of the leaders stayed out. So then on the restart, you had Kyle Larson lead the field from the outside with Shane Van Gisbergen on the inside, and Kyle Larson got a fantastic restart once again and was able to clear for the race lead. Meanwhile, Brad Keselowski got spun in turn number 7 after some contact from behind. He got turned in the corner and ended up spinning out. Meanwhile, Austin Dillon had some contact from Chase Briscoe and missed the chicane and would have to come to a stop. And then on lap number 40, the first playoff driver would run into problems. Chase Briscoe had too much damage on the car from the tire issues. He was on a DVP as we spoke, and unfortunately, he would sadly end up going to the garage, and his day would come to an end, meaning that Chase Briscoe's chances to make the next round are sadly over. He was eliminated. Meanwhile, on the same lap as well, Ross Chastain got spun from 20th position after contact from Mark Truex Jr. He was able to continue going. And then we started seeing green flag pit stops once again. Chris Buescher come down pit road. Then a couple laps later, Carson Osbar came down pit road. Then the next lap, Zane Smith, Mark Truex Jr., Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Harrison Burton, John Hunter, they came down pit road. And then the next lap, William Byron, Ty Gibbs, Daniel Hemrick, Ross Chastain, Austin Dillon, they came down pit road. And then the top 3 guys at the time, Kyle Larson, Shane Van Gisbergen, and Christopher Bell, they came down pit road while you had contact between Daniel Suarez and Bubba Wallace on the back straightaway, and Daniel Suarez got pushed out and had to come to a stop. Once those guys came down pit road, though, Alex Bowman had a pretty big lead, and he would come off the corner and hold off a hard-charging field and win stage number 2. Because of Kyle Larson getting stage points in stage number 2, Kyle Larson would be able to also lock his way into the round of 8. So during the caution, Alex Bowman, Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Daniel Suarez, Josh Berry, Eric Jones, they'd all come down pit road while the rest leaders stayed out. So then on the restart, you had AJ Allmendinger lead the field from the outside with Joey Logano on the inside, and AJ Allmendinger got a fantastic restart and was able to clear for the race lead as Bubba Wallace moved up to second. Meanwhile, we had a contact and a crash happening on the front straightaway. Ross Chastain got spun in the front chicane after contact from Brad Keselowski, and Johnny Nemechek and Eric Jones had nowhere to go. Those days would come to an end. And because of debris from both those cars, the caution would end up coming out. Meanwhile, Daniel Suarez was on pit road because he had brake issues. And because there were enough cars out of the race, Christopher Bell would also clinch his way into the round of 8. So during the caution, Justin Haley, Ryan Preece, Josh Bilicki, Daniel Suarez came down pit road while the rest leaders stayed out. So then on the restart, you had AJ Allmendinger lead the field from the outside with Joey Logano on the inside, and AJ Allmendinger got a fantastic restart and was able to clear for the race lead. AJ would start pulling away from Kyle Larson, but then we had an incident take place on lap number 62 when Carson Nospar completely sent it up in turn number 7 like he'd been doing all day and ends up turning Shane Van Gisbergen. I don't know what Carson Nospar was doing there. That was a stupid move on Hocevar's part. He wasn't the only driver making bonehead moves throughout the day. Tough rate for SVG. Wouldn't take him out of contention, but drop him all the way from 11th back down to 23rd. And then the battle for the lead would heat up between Kyle Larson and AJ Allmendinger. They were side by side for about a lap or so, and eventually Kyle Larson made the move on AJ Allmendinger and was able to clear for the race lead. And then we saw contact and carnage once again. Todd Gilliland ended up spinning in turn number 7 after contact with Shane Van Gisbergen. SVG sent in the corner and gave it back to Todd Gilliland and ended up spinning him out. And then we started seeing green flag pit stops once again. First, AJ Allmendinger, Austin Cindric, Joey Logano, Kyle Busch, they came down. Then the next lap, Bubba Wallace, Tyler Reddick, Noah Gragson. Then the next lap, William Byron, Carson Nospar, Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman. Then the next lap, Truex, Stenhouse, Austin Dillon, and Kaz Grala. And then Denny Hamlin came down pit road. And then Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, and Ryan Blaney, they would come down pit road. And then the next lap, Brad Keselowski would come down pit road, handing the lead back to Kyle Larson. And then as the green flag run continued, as Austin Dillon came down pit road with about 30 laps to go, the final big yellow of the race would end up taking place. Austin Dillon would lose a tire as the tire came off the car because they didn't have a tight. It would roll across in turn number 4 or 5, bringing out the final caution of this race. This would lead to a little bit of strategy. AJ Allmendinger, Shane Van Gisbergen, Tyler Reddick, Justin Haley, and Chris Buescher all would come down pit road while everyone else pretty much stayed out. So then on the restart, you had Kyle Larson lead the field from the outside with Christopher Bell on the inside, and Kyle Larson got a fantastic restart and was able to clear for the race lead. A few laps later, Tyler Reddick was charging up to the front. He completely sends it into the corner with about 20 laps to go, but was saved because he got into Daniel Hemrick. Hemrick ends up spinning, but Tyler Reddick was able to continue going. Meanwhile, a few laps later, Brad Keselowski got spun in the back chicane and would move up into after being up in 13th, he would get spun out there. And then everything would change for Joey Logano as Tyler Reddick started charging up to the front and AJ Allmendinger got past Joey Logano. Tyler Reddick also started making up a ton of ground and positions with around 10 laps to go. Tyler Reddick got the run on Martin Truex Jr. and was able to pass him, and Denny Hamlin moved up to 12th. And unfortunately, because Logano started losing more positions from Shane Van Gisbergen, he was 4 points below. At this point, Joey Logano was going to need a caution if he was going to make the next round as Tyler Reddick was starting to charge his way up to the front. Meanwhile, Kyle Larson was starting to pull away and was having a dominant car and a rocket ship up that point and was starting to pull away from Christopher Bell. Kyle Larson continued to lead as it came to the white flag. He had a pretty big lead over Christopher Bell by about 2.5 to 3 seconds. As it came to the white flag, though, Bell was starting to close in just a little bit, and he caught up to Daniel Suarez, who was holding him up just a little bit. But going into turn number 7, he got by Suarez, that being Kyle Larson. It had still about a 1.5 to 1.6 second lead. Christopher Bell tried everything to get there, but it would not be enough. And coming off the final corner, Kyle Larson picks up his 6th victory of the 2024 season, leads 62 laps, and picks up his 29th career NASCAR Cup Series victory. Congratulations to Kyle Larson on getting the win. Let's talk about the 4 drivers that unfortunately have been eliminated from the playoffs. Joey Logano, Austin Cindric, Daniel Suarez, and Chase Briscoe unfortunately do not advance to the round of 8. This means for the first time, only a third time in NASCAR Cup history, you've got all 400 cars advancing to the round of 8. Major accomplishment. The last time we saw that happen was, of course, in 2018 when all 4 SHR cars made it. That, of course, being Kurt Busch, Kevin Harvick, Clint Bowyer, and Eric Almirola. And then the prior time was 2016 when Carl Edwards, Mark Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, and Denny Hamlin all advanced. Congratulations to the teams on making it a big accomplishment for Hendrick Motorsports. After the Florida got eliminated, Logano had a good day, but not a fast enough car. He pretty much needed to win and didn't have the car to win. Cindric was really good early, but just didn't have the pace and speed to contend. He's unfortunately eliminated. Daniel Suarez had the brake issue, never had the car today, and Chase Briscoe's day came to an end early. So tough break for all those guys. They are sadly eliminated. So now let's talk about the winner of the race, Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson 100% had the fastest car, in my opinion. He kept up with SVG most of the day. The only guy early in the race that could keep up was Shane Van Gisbergen, and once SVG lost the track position, he just never could get back up there. Bell challenged him a little bit at points, but Larson just had the best car. And when Kyle Larson and the 5-team are on point, they're the team to beat every single week. And Kyle Larson gets 5 extra playoff points. It's going to be really huge going into the round of 8 at 3 tracks where he's won at before. I think Kyle Larson has definitely got a good chance to make it to the championship for a major win for Kyle Larson. Congratulations to him on getting his 6th win of 2024. He's just 1 win now away from getting 30 career wins, which only I believe 30 drivers in NASCAR Cup history have done that. So congratulations to Kyle Larson on picking up the victory. So now we'll go ahead and take a look at the race results. I'll give my score and thoughts on today's race and take a look at the playoff standings going into the round of 8. So Kyle Larson picks up the win. Christopher Bell finished in second. Really good day for Bell. Ran top 5 most of the day. Got a lot of stage points. He's advanced to the round of 8. He's got some really good tracks coming up. A really strong run for the 20 team. He finished second. William Byron finished third. Extremely consistent in this round. Second, third, and third in the round of 8. The most consistent of all the drivers in the playoffs. A really good day for Byron. Didn't have the speed for Larson, but a really good day nonetheless. He finishes in third. Austin Cindric finished 4th. A really good day for Cindric, but unfortunately not enough to make it to the next round. But had a really fast car. He's been good on road courses this year, so a good run for Cindric, but not enough to make it to the next round. He finishes in 4th. Chase Elliott finished 5th. Elliott didn't have the pace or speed that Larson, Byron, SVG had a lot of the day, but still a top 5 run is really good, all things considered. They got a lot of stage points, had a top 10 car most of the day, gets a top 5, really strong run for Chase Elliott in 5th. AJ Allmendinger finished 6th. Solid day for AJ. Didn't have the pace speed to get up there at the end. Just the tires, I think, equaled out at the end. But still a really good day for AJ. He finishes in 6th. Shane Van Gisbergen finished 7th. He was my pick coming into the weekend to win. Unfortunately, SVG did not have the car once he got stuck behind in traffic. Really hard to pass. And once you get stuck in traffic, it was very difficult to pass. But still a really solid day for SVG. Led the most laps he's led in a single race in his Cup career. Had a pretty good day overall. He finishes in 7th for a car. It literally came into play a few days ago. A really good day for SVG. Joey Logano finished 8th. A solid day for Logano on a road course. Not a bad run for him, but just not enough to make it to the next round. He finishes in 8th. Bubba Wallace finished 9th. Want to give him a shout out. He continues to have a really strong year. His 13th top 10 of 2024. The 23 team, really strong day. Ran top 5 and top 10 most of the day. He's been usually really good at the Charlotte ROVAL. So really good run for him. He finishes in 9th. And Ryan Blaney finishes 10th. Quiet day for him. Ran around 10th to 15th most of the day. A pretty solid run. He finishes in 10th. Tyler Reddick finished 11th. A great comeback after the broken toe link issue. They made in by just 4 points. A really great comeback. They got a ton of stage points, won a stage, but that damage cost him, it looked like, but a solid run for him. He finished in 11th. Carson Ospart finished 12th. He was a menace on the track a lot of the day, but he did get a top 15, so I'll give him credit for that. He finished 12th. Kyle Busch finished 13th. Expected more from Busch today, to be honest. He just didn't have the overall pace or speed to win the race, but he does get a top 15, so not a bad day, all things considered. Denny Hamlin finished 14th. He struggled early and got that damage, but they persevered. A really great comeback run for him. He finishes in 14th. Michael McDowell finished 15th. Decent day for him. Not the greatest day in the world. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. finishes in 16th. Chris Buescher finished in 17th. Alex Bowman finishes in 18th. Not a bad, great day for Bowman. First finish outside the top 10 at the Roval. Just didn't have the overall pace or speed today, but he does advance to the next round. Todd Gillen finishes 19th, and Zane Smith finished 20th. Harrison Burton finished 21st. 21st. Mark Truex Jr. finished 22nd. Josh Berry finished in 23rd. Brad Keselowski finished 24th after what looked like was going to be a great day for Keselowski. Got turned a couple times, just got taken out of contention. Dale Hemrick finished in 25th. Ryan Preece finished 26th. Justin Haley finished 27th. Kaz Grala finished 28th. Ross Chastain with a very disappointing day overall. He finished 29th. Josh Bilicki finished 30th. Daniel Suarez with a disappointing day, unfortunately eliminated from the playoffs. He finished 31st. Noah Gragson finished 32nd. Austin Dillon finished 33rd. Eric Jones finished 34th. John Henry Mitchell finished 35th. Ty Gibbs, after having his transmission issues and falling out of the race, he finished 36th. Trace Briscoe finishes 37th out of the playoffs, and Corey LaJoie finishes last in 30th place. So now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the playoffs going into the first race of the round of 8. Now let's take a look at the playoff standings going into the round of 8. So Kyle Larson is 33 points above the cutoff line. Christopher Bell's 13 above. Tyler Reddick is 10 above. And William Byron is 4 above. Ryan Blaney is 4 points below. Denny Hamlin's 8 points below. Chase Elliott is 9 points below. And Alex Bowman is 16 points below. Going to be really tight going into this round. Kyle Larson's got 2 really good bread and butter tracks coming up for him at Vegas and Homestead. I expect Larson to be super quick and strong. I think there's a good chance we could see 400 cars in the final round. They all looked really good in these first couple rounds. I think it's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out as we go into the first race of the round of 8, which is going to start this upcoming week at Las Vegas. Really looking forward to that. So now, let's talk about the overall race as a whole. I'll give my score and thoughts on today's race. I thought today's race, honestly, for Charlotte ROVAL standards, was not horrible. Yes, it was super difficult to pass, but if you did have fresh tires, you could actually pass, and there were definitely passing opportunities for sure. I do think driver was a little bit way too over-aggressive in the race today. I think driver spec was not that great today, in my opinion. Drivers were just not using their heads. You got guys getting dumped by multiple different drivers throughout the field. I didn't like the lack of driver spec, and I think near the end of the race, it kind of got a little stale, if I'm going to be real and honest. Less, you still had the playoff intrigue near the end, which I thought kept my interest in the race to kind of see who was going to get into the next round. That was really intriguing to watch, but I think the racing itself wasn't that bad. I still think the Oval should come back personally after 2025. I think we should consider bringing the Oval back for 2026 because I think the Charlotte Oval is going to put on a much better racing product than the Charlotte ROVAL. Again, I think today's race is okay, but it wasn't that great. I'm going to give today's NASCAR Cup Series race at the Charlotte ROVAL. I'll give this race maybe a 6 out of 10. It had its moments for sure. There was good passing throughout the field at times, and if you had a faster car, you could pass the guy in front of you. The problem is it wasn't the greatest race, and I think we know the road course issues of the next-gen car. The car definitely needs to be worked on the road courses for sure. So, that is going to be it for the NASCAR Cup Series race review from the Charlotte ROVAL. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support my Patreon as well. Links description below that, and comment your thoughts below on today's race. Your thoughts in today's race, let me know below. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and congratulate Kyle Larson on winning at the Charlotte ROVAL. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. In a couple hours from now, you'll most likely see a Shane Van Gisbergen video dropping on the channel. Tomorrow, you'll see a NASCAR news video discussing news over the course of the last couple days. And you also will see most likely an entry list video for the South Point 400 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So anyways, like I said, we'll also have some content on their drivers in the field as well. Maybe Haley Dean, for example, might talk about that. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode. And I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.